We all know what is a wheel. So in a Sanskrit, we call in a word Chakra. But when it comes to AgileChakra, we go to the level of summarizing the core capabilities and competencies areas of an organization. So let's see how to ride on the wheel and create a truly agile and highly performing organization in today's times. So let's hear from Mr. Vineet Patni, who is a firm believer in Agile. He is a trainer by profession and passion. At the same time, he is also passionate about cricket and table tennis. He has trained around 3,500 professionals so far, and still the chakra continues. So please put your hands together to welcome Vineet. Thank you.
So without wasting much of your time, I'll get started. So let's start some questions first. So I want you to check in. Okay, so let's start first question. I may not expect an answer from you, but still I want you to think. What does agile transformation mean to you? Or what does agile transformation mean to us? Or what does an agile transformation mean to the organizations of today's times? What do you think? Anyone raise your hand. Yes, what it is, Anand? Changing the mindset. Okay, and mindset is? Yeah, what is that agile mindset? As we hear a lot, agile is a mindset. When I started my journey in 2014 as an independent coach, it was a struggle to tell people that agile is not a framework and certainly not a technology. I used to get my training requirement like, hey Vineet, are you free this weekend? I was, yeah, of course, I have nothing to do. 6 months, no work. And people said, okay, we have training requirement on agile technologies. And I was like, which book I forgot to read? Agile technologies, wow. So things have changed over time. When I interact with people now, comes the answer spot on. Agile is a mindset. Okay, so we will talk about what does this mindset really mean. Okay, what kind of mindset we have. So somebody was raising hand here. What does agile transformation mean to you? So thought process again comes to mindset. Technical folks, anyone? For them agile equals DevOps. I don't mean to offend anyone, please don't take me wrong. But yes, that is also one of the views. Agile is about continuous delivery, release on demand, right? Yes, sir. Oh, so now culture change has also come. So many things. Now you are talking about cultural change. What is the culture, sir?
Culture to get feedback frequently by delivering.
Okay, it's part of our culture that whatever we do, we are inquisitive about knowing kaisa laga, how did you like it, give me some feedback. After the ice breaking today, I have approached at least 50 people. Manish, how was the ice breaking? Was it okay? Next time, how can we improve? So that is the idea. There are some people who are always, looking forward to hear. Let's move on. Should an agile transformation be a top-down or bottom approach? Those who say top-down, raise your hand. Very few believe agile transformation is a top-down approach. Top-down means leaders must be agile and support agile. Okay, very few. So, can I assume the others are for bottom-up approach? No. But you must take a side. Only two options are there, A or B. Either it should be top-down or bottom-up, no? A and B. Sorry, negative marking. So, what is it? What is the third option? So it's a handshake between somebody at the top and somebody on the ground. Yes? Okay, so basically it means a regular churning, apply the right forces at the right place at the right time, right? So it could be anyone in the organization, be it leader. Okay, is your company a high performing organization in today's times? What do we call today's world? What is the short form abbreviation? Today's world is a VUCA world, V-U-C-A, which means the world is volatile, U means uncertain, C means complex, moving parts, and then A is ambiguous. What is the meaning of ambiguous? Multiple interpretations of the same thing. I need a red color car. What does it mean? How many shades of red color are there in today's time? So things have changed. When I was a little kid, I knew 7 colors only primarily. Now there are colors by the name of fruits. Very soon we will have a color called Salman Khan also. So my son was telling me peach color. I said, what is this? Peach color. So this is how things are becoming more and more ambiguous. So let's move on. Let's keep our calm and ride on the Agile Chakra, which is the wheel of high performance. Okay. Disclaimer, the organizers of PAUC have made me add this slide. So whatever views I am going to share in the next few minutes are my own views, and I would love to have some healthy disagreements, have a conversation, maybe outside, out of the time allocated to me. But feel free to approach me if you want any enhancements in the Agile Chakra. That. So all of you have a copy of the Chakra with you, because that will save us time. Anyone missing, not having a copy? Yeah, please share with your neighbors for now, and those who are missing maybe can drop me a text individually. I will make sure that you also have a copy in the next few days. Okay, Chakra means wheel. Can you say wheel has been one of the biggest inventions by mankind? Yes. What is the meaning of we do not want to reinvent the wheel or reinventing the wheel? What does it mean? Which is already there, don't do it. So don't confuse. Here also Agile Chakra is not an attempt to rebuild something which is already there. It's more of a metaphor that I am going to introduce in some time. Okay, what do you see in a chakra? What are the various components? I am not a mechanical engineer. Anyone mechanical engineer here? No one? Yeah, spokes are there. Which are these spokes? Various shapes. Okay, then see, this is also interesting. Then you have a core, then you have various layers, and all these new designs keep coming. So that is the idea I would want to keep for some time. When you talk about a wheel, there are various components. Which components need to be strong for the wheel to survive longer? Sure? It's not the spokes, it's not the outer layer. All the components need to be equally strong, and that is where I got the idea of coming up with something called an Agile Chakra. One component is loose, then it will be tough for you to move ahead. Okay, so you will see this picture again and again. So Agile Chakra is a metaphor. Okay, remember, it's just a metaphor to derive what are the key competency areas and what are the core capabilities that we need in today's organizations. We hear a lot about leadership. Acha nahi hai. Leadership is, I don't want to use the terms which I hear. Right? People say it. When I was a fresher, the villain in the office used to be my manager. Not Yogesh. Yogesh, my manager, he has been one of the most inspiring personalities in my life. But that is how things were. Scaring, managers, the very thought used to be scared. And as you go up, when you become managers, the story goes on. It's lovely. So as an independent person, when I look at these things from outside, I just enjoy it. I said, wow, you criticize them, they criticize you. Okay, so we have to come up with the core capabilities. Let's define it. Let's put together some idea to get started. Making a blank statement like our leadership does not support Agile is of no value. People's mindset are not there. Mindset is not Agile. What is this? Mindset is not there. These are very motherhood statements which have absolutely no significance. We have to go to the next level. So when we talk about a competency area, we have to talk about the capabilities. When we talk about leadership, we must be able to define what does an Agile leadership mean to us, or an Agile leader. Or if you are a leader of today's times or an Agile leader, what mindset, thought processes you must bring in with you as part of the offering. So this is what we say as Agile Chakra. How we can use it, I will tell you now, and then we will go into some case studies discussions quickly. One disclaimer I want to tell you is, I have had these presentations multiple times in internal forums. Sometimes it gets over pretty quickly, sometimes it takes about days. Okay, so being Agile, what should we do? We will time box the time allocated to us, and maybe if I rush through some of the cases, you can discuss with me offline. So how we can use this, and what is the use of this Agile Chakra? So what do you see here? What is it? Agile Chakra is a thinking tool. When I was talking about it to one of my volunteers a couple of days back when we were preparing, and I was like, yeah, this is the biggest mistake I have done. I must not have applied for a speaker slot in PAUC19. Last 2 years I did not do it, but he said I made a big mistake applying. He asked me why, and I said, "Bhai, ye sab karu ki I focus on my presentation." And then we became curious and we started talking, and I realized that when we started talking a couple of my PAUC organizing team were really getting into some thinking mode, and I was like, I will advance this slide ahead now, because it is actually making you think. So it's more of a thinking tool wherein you can come up with an enterprise-wide organizational transformation strategy to begin with. Is it clear? It is not a framework, especially those famous frameworks starting with S's. Okay, so it's not about that. Let's be more open. Okay, I wish a particular framework could solve all our problems. So that was the idea here. Let people think. Now my personal opinion is the more frameworks we have, the less people think. Do you agree? Sure. Have you been yourself like that? Huh? मैं Scrum Master, I don't care, 10 o'clock, Delhi, stand up, period. Or boss, I am doing something critical. I don't care, you are violating Scrum. I said, and that's what made me thinking, is it really that critical to follow certain framework when we are having so many other problems to solve in our lives and with our customers? So that was the idea, okay? And don't forget the term simplified manner. One of the reasons of me standing here is to align with the theme of PAUC. What is the theme of PAUC? PAUC19. Theme and vision are different. I'll come to the vision also, but I want to first talk about what is the theme of PAUC19. Yeah, the logo says something, agile, unplugged, making it simple, keeping it simple, and that is where we feel it is something which is really worth talking about. It's in a very simplified manner. Okay, what is the next thing? Identify the core capabilities and core competency areas. What are the core capability areas of an competency areas within an organization? You guys, Wipro, can you tell me? We had lovely days. What are the various areas you look at Wipro as an organization? I am not talking about departments here, not HR, finance and admin. Yeah, so technical, so overall technical. And what does technical mean to Wipro?
So there are about 7-8 skills out there, but essentially able to meet customer demands in a faster way, right? That's one fundamental aspect. So you learn to make sure you are expert in your own designated technology or ability of that. That's one.
What does technical mean to McDonald's? Making what they are serving ultimately. So how they make, so that is the idea. So technical overall is what you are saying, okay. Anyone else? So apart from technical capabilities or competency areas, what else? Domain. Domains means what? Functions, okay. So domain is basically the interface with the kind of the customer base of the users. So when we say telecom, we have been necessarily talking about our users who are from the telecom consumers, something like that. So this is where we will get you thinking as you look into the Agile Chakra. And most important thing, many companies which I have observed is they start their Agile transformation journey, okay, and they are proud. I wrote recently, let's unplug Agile, and those Agile consultants saying, I've been in the company for 2 years and we have completed Agile transformation, things like that. I said, what is the meaning of you completed Agile transformation? What is the meaning of completing an Agile transformation? You have reached there, and what is that there? Huh? But you just said you finished, I got paid for 2 years. Yes, anyone else? What is the destination we are talking about? Agile transformation.
They would have done some milestone and they have reached some milestone.
Yeah, milestones. Portfolio managers love to see a milestone chart. Rag status, red, green, amber, so I was talking to one of my students sometimes, participants a few weeks back. He made a statement, I am not sure if he's here already. He said, my manager does not speak in English. He said, speak in numbers. Don't talk to me in English. Just say numbers and that's it. His conversations end there. And the 2 English words he allows is, yes or no. Hua ki nahi. Aage kuch nahi bolne ka. Yes or no and over. It's all over. So that is the idea. So we have to look back. So when I said 2 years, it's a milestone. We have reached this far. How far we have to go? Identify the gaps. Are we really good in the goals that we set out to establish as part of our transformation journey? What is the shortest Agile transformation duration? Pretty popular is 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. Anyone even lesser than that? Any magic wand? 2 days in transformation in 2 days, money back guarantee. No, you have not heard these ads, come on. No, 2 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Nahi yaar, if I propose 3 weeks, my billability will be at a loss. So let me propose at least 6 months to bare minimum, right? So these are the things. So the idea here is AgileChakra is a thinking tool which is about wherever it, even if it is 1 day, 1 week, 10 days, 2 months, take a pause, look at where we have reached and where we have to go. In simple terms, kahan pahunche hai, kahan jana hai. That is what is called identify the gaps and improvement areas. Let me move on to the AgileChakra. Those who have a copy, quickly look at it, because I will not be going through the text there. This is just to get you introduced. So what is the first step to use this thinking tool? What would be the first step? Any guesses? I just removed this, those who are trying to read through the slides. Understand where you are, okay? So identify the competency areas within your organization. So you guess you had a tough time, I asked you technical, you made me think. So all the people from the organization, or at least a cross section of the people that make an organization, must come together and say, hey, what kind of organization we really want? Do we want to be a company which is about people plus other areas to support, or a company which is about technology or anything else? So that is the idea. So identify, there is no one rule to come up with to define your core layers of the organization or the competency areas. Now AgileChakra already gives you certain things to start with. Looking at the chakra in your hands, can you tell me how many competency areas are there as per the current version 1.3? 6. And which are? Yeah. So you have seen this, it's about culture. Culture is the core. Do you see culture at the core? Okay, then mindset cuts across all the areas. So mindset, our way of thinking, must be across, whether it is a leader or a fresher fresh from the college. The mindset must still be cutting across. That is the idea of a spoke. And then, so you have a culture, you have technical. What does products and services mean? Yeah. What do I sell? Or rather than what do I sell, I want you to think one more step ahead. What do users want? Which is one of the key things in our change in the way we create products or services. Many a times I have seen people doing things, but not thinking about whether it is solving any of my users' problems. Is it making sense? So if you look at Agile or Scrum, user stories, what is a user story? Tell me, it's a requirement. It's an acceptance criteria. What is it? A user story. It's a requirement articulated from whose perspective? A user perspective, which is a game changer, but we still have so-called technical stories. Where there is no user, upgrade Oracle is a new story. I said, I don't know how it is a user story, where is user coming along? So that is the example I want to tell. Where you think from, take a step back, don't be a problem solver or solution provider. What do? First get into the shoes of the end user and think about what the person is going through, empathizing with the user. So this is your product and services capabilities. Parallel example, restaurant. Have you ever been to a restaurant serving 7-course meal and they are exceptionally known for good quality of food and service? Anyone? Pune mein hai koi? 5-course meal. Any other restaurants here? You can share your favorites. Come on. Pune is known for eating culture. Yeah? No? There are quite a few outlets which offer you lots and lots of starters, and their starters quantity is so much that you like it so much that I have hardly gone into even consuming the main course. Now the way they serve, will they serve everything to you? What does medium spicy mean? Can you define it in 2 pages? Mujhe medium spicy chahiye. Can you define it? No? Because medium spicy could be very, very different between people. So what do these restaurants do? They will not serve you everything. They will serve you bare minimum to quickly get feedback. Is it what you wanted? Is it what medium spicy mean to you? Something like that. So technical software companies also have to have a similar way of thinking, and any other also have to have a similar thinking. Process and governance and leadership. So just a little bit of idea. These are the six competency areas that currently, based on my interactions with the companies, I have come up with. Do you think any department or competency area is missing here? Anyone? Because when I announced AgileChakra in the public domain, many people came to me and said, what do you think about adding human resource and finance? Okay? Yeah, which is a great point. Where is finance here? Support. Where is HR? Sure? Is HR a support in the organization? No. They rule the company. Anybody from HR? Don't call them support, right? Which company, sir? Yeah, I will never apply in EPAM anymore. Bol diya maine. So that is the idea. HR, how about putting HR in leadership? Start thinking you are leaders, HR professionals. Stop thinking you are support. You are the people who are going to change the way organization has to move on. That is the problem I see with the industry. Mostly HR is left to support. The mindset is you are support. No. HR, human resource, you are going to decide the future of the company in many ways. So my view of looking at is, if I was to create a large organization, I would put HR in the leadership. They are the people who are going to provide support to every layer, every component, every person. Is it making sense? Again, my views, disclaimer, I already shared it. Okay, going forward, the next step is now come up with the recommended set of capabilities you would want to build. This is something which has been a work of many years, okay, and it changes. Nowadays, I've started changing it a little less frequently. The only reason being it's officially available with many people nowadays. So I'm not changing it. In fact, the last time I spoke about it in a conference in Pune, it was still the same version. Anyone who was there in the Agile and DevOps conference, June 22nd? Okay, good. So you are mostly fresher here. You were there. So just to tell you, thank you, Tushar. Tushar has been the biggest critic as well as friend in coming up with the AgileChakra. Yes, you see my name. Yes, I am the public face. But everything I talk about AgileChakra, Tushar has been so. Thank you, Tushar here. Tushar was there in the presentation I made there. Okay, so there are quite a few. Maybe I can take one example. Any layer, any layer. So when you say leadership, what does Agile leadership mean? Tell me. You can read maybe one point. Sorry? CXOs. Sure? CXOs. So if I'm a project manager, I'm not a leader. Is leadership about title? We are talking about capabilities, and that is thank you for this example. That is where we are thinking leadership is about, hey, I have been 15 years into the organization, I am a leader. It could be a situational leadership. My little 7-year-old son is a leader already. He does not need a title. In his circle, he is a leader. He takes initiatives. Make sense? How many leaders do you see here? Do I see here? How many leaders do you see here? Look around. If not, you certainly have the potential, because it's a capability we build in-house. So things like transformational leadership, encourage learning. Yeah, what is big deal about it? Why am I even standing in front of 125 plus and telling, hey, encourage learning? You think, what is the problem with today's IT industry or today's world in general? Once you pass out from colleges. Okay, let me ask you, how many of you are attending a conference or a setup like this first time in the last 1 year, apart from your work? Last 5 years, first time, first ever? Yeah? So we still have to go and tell people, hey, encourage learning. So what does leadership do here? They support. They come up with certain techniques, methods, or even strict policies which forces you to learn. Now, let me share an example. How is it taken? How is the internal learning taken in our organizations? You get an email one fine day, 5th of January. Oh, congratulations, you have been selected to complete training 1, 2, 3 in the next 15 days. If you don't complete it, remember March we have appraisal. That's not encouraged learning, I am sorry to say. This is one of the most hated things. In fact, many of the trainings, Yugesh, was done by dummies. You have given me good rating in all of these, but sometimes it was just autoplay mode because we had to complete. That's not encouraged learning. Just forcing people to complete XYZ is not encouraging learning. It's about genuinely feeling the need to learn, making your people feel the need to learn every day, every moment, whenever you get an opportunity. So around this thought process or capability, you can come up with certain techniques. Any example? Any leader here who encourages learning beyond the policies of the organization? Yes?
I'm from Western India.
Okay.
So we have LinkedIn learning as part of our internal program.
Okay.
And what I've observed is none of my team members went in and have done that. So for encouraging them, what I said is we have something called Bravo points that we can distribute to promote better behaviors. So I just said that I just made this month learning month, and whoever does at least 5 trainings from LinkedIn, I'll give.
And that's after 6 p.m.
No.
Oh, sure.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Huh?
It's
So this time, Sanjay, you lagged, you have to do 3 innovations. And Sanjay says, but I am busy, I am in a billable position, you put me into 3 projects, I am 250% billable already. How do I focus time on innovation? 8 baje ke baat karna. That is the language we are so used to talking. I just feel, as I said, when I was part of the system, I was really thinking, will I ever be able to survive? But when I am looking at it from outside, it's really a good source of entertainment also sometimes. I said, see how much we have to work, we coaches have to work to change the world. जैसे मैं बहुत बार बोलता हूँ, बीमारी रहेगी, our job is secure. Don't worry, because there are so many people we have to change. One person at a time we have to change. We have been so much focused into doing the set thing. So that is the idea. Okay. Any one example of mindset? This is my personal favorite. Because I started, many times I just talk about agility is a mindset. If you focus on the mindset, many other things are taken care of. But how do you define? So let's quickly just define the mindset competency area and move on. Okay. So what do you see here? First thing, to me, agility is more of a human sense with some common sense. That's it. So earlier I used to see being human, many people thought Salman Khan is paying me. So I was asked to go to Trivandrum for training about 100 people, and it was a surprise to me. Suddenly I went there to meet the leader and said, people were waiting exactly like this. I said, Vineet, do you have a couple of words to share with them? And I was very new at the time. Prepare karke nahi aaya. So at that time, I had to define what agile is, and I just said agility is about being human, being a nice human being, and that's what to me is. Spend more time. And many people said, being human, Salman Khan. I said, no, nothing to do. So I just changed it. It's about humanity. If you look at many of the Agile Manifesto values and principles, quite a few, which just talks about what? Yes? People, we value individuals over processes. We are not saying processes are useless, but what are we necessarily saying? We value individuals more, we value people more, we are a people focused company. Any example of a company that you are part of which is about people? Yes? You are currently employed there? Why only 2 hands? You don't see any company here which are focused on people? Just look around, my dear friend, this is the problem I am seeing. How many of our companies are really about people? So I was reading, I was watching some of the videos, I don't recall, was it Spotify or some other company. So they focused a lot of energies into people and everything, and they did a survey about, are you happy at work? I don't remember exactly what percentage they got, but they said 96% of our employees are happy at work. What percentage? 96. And HR replied back to the organization saying, wow, thank you very much for participating in the survey. As per the latest results, 96% of the people who come to our company for work, they are happy. This is clearly not acceptable. If you are one of those 4%, we would like to meet and discuss with you. Why not 100% of the people are happy? It's practically might not be possible because one policy or set of policies can't make everyone happy. But the mindset of those leaders or the HR professionals, we would at least like to connect. Wo 4% kahan reh gaye? Where are those? Where we leak? So that is the idea. So human sense with common sense. Growth mindset. Heard about it? Growth mindset opposite? Fixed mindset. Do your homework. Interesting topic. You will realize a lot about human beings. If you just start looking at how many of us have really growth mindset and how many of you have fixed mindset. Unfortunately, we cannot go too much detail into it. So that is also, you must have growth mindset. Any example of growth mindset could be challenges at work make you motivated, excitement. Wow, kuch to naya hai. Something new has come today. Make sense? So that is the idea. The growth mindset. Fixed mindset. Hey, suddenly, Manish, 2 more projects I want to allocate you. Starting Monday, tomorrow. How do you feel? First thing he will do in the evening is update my resume. Ho gaya abhi. What was I was so happy. 4 o'clock I used to leave from work, but now multiple projects. That's a mindset. Some people get excited about the challenges. Some people love chaos, right, Tushar? Let there be chaos. In the morning he said, every time I hand mic to him, this guy creates chaos. He sees people and says, chalo chaos rehne do. But then that is how we look at human beings. Say, human beings figure it out, and that's what we call self-organization. So, okay, moving on. Systems thinking. What is that? There, people standing. I appreciate you if you want to exchange chairs, Okay, systems thinking. Okay. Organizational level. I will try to explain in more simpler terms. Maybe anyone else? Somebody said having a holistic view. That's all. If I have a headache, I must not be taking aspirin, aspirins. I must look at where exactly the problem is. Look at my whole system, not just this part. Make sense? So that is again how you look at it. You know, have a look at entire thing. We suffer seriously from lack of systems thinking because people are just busy finishing their tasks. Mera kaam. That's it. I don't want to look at. So if you see road constructions, that's the condition of Pune and major cities of India. What happens? It took 2 years to build a lovely road. In fact, what? BRTS, wow. And now something else has come because they are all working in silos, departmentalization in the company. They lack systems thinking. For little approval to get a marker pen, what do you think if I go to a company and I'm not having a marker pen to write on the boards, how much time will it take to procure a marker pen? It costs hardly 10 rupee. What do you think? How much it is in your companies? Yeah? No, I have submitted my request, it is pending approval from XYZ department. Arey boss, you are paying me so much to be there with you and you can't afford this. That is lack of systems thinking and also lack of empowerment in many cases. You see, lack of empowerment, people are not ready to take decisions at their end. A mix of so many things. And lean agile mindset, I don't want to talk about it. Basically to me, the lean agile mindset is the values and principles in the Agile Manifesto and principles of lean thinking. Okay, let's move on. This is the second step. The third step of using the AgileChakra effectively will be what? Applying AgileChakra or applying the thought process of feedback. Are we going on the right track? So the third step is nothing but inspect, adapt, reflect, tune and adjust. Continuous improvement, whatever you want to look at, but you have to inspect where you are and where you are going. So is it clear so far about what AgileChakra is all about? Because now I am going to show you some of the cases and how it has helped the organizations. Yes? Any questions so far? Okay. Start blank. What does it mean? You go back to your company, yeah? No assumptions, nothing. The way you want to look at the company, come up with a fresh mindset. One of the biggest problems of agile transformations is they want to start where they are. They don't want to start blank. They use agile as a plug-in. Plug-in means? No, our process must be there, you know, it has been set up 10 years, uske upar you do something about agile. No, you have to start blank, you have to start really a new way of thinking. Maybe you will have to change everything or maybe not. Possible? Possible or not? As part of your first steps towards transformation, will you have to change everything? When I went to my gym instructor, he said, you do not have any problem but you have to fix all of these. And I was like, you do not have any problem but I have to fix all of these, what does it mean? Well, as such your overall is okay, but every area needs improvement. You have to. So my lifestyle, my eating habits, my exercising patterns, everything has to change, but there is no problem. Sab theek hai, par sudhar ki zarurat hai. Improvement has to be there. So start blank, then sit with a group of people, cross-sectional group of people. You cannot bring an entire organization into a brainstorming workshop, can you? Yeah, even this size is good enough for brainstorming. As a facilitator, I will find it difficult. For brainstorming, for a fun activity and all, it's okay. But brainstorming, I don't know what is the right number, but what I look at it is there must be representation from all areas. And get into the brainstorming session. And imagine HR head, admin head, and the CTO, and CFO. All these are in a room to discuss about the future of the organization and transformation to Agile. How long will it take? How long will it take to decide the future? Oh, you are smiling. Why? It's a matter of 2 days. All the important people are there in the room. No? Yes? All the CXOs and all are there. Heads. Yeah, it's a time for offsite parties many a times and nothing more. So we don't know. To be honest with you, I have had 1 day of workshop where it was good enough to start, and some case I had to actually say, nahi, now I am moving on to another assignment, because there was never a common view about the future of the organization. Every department head or CTO had their own agenda. So anyway, so this is where you start and this is what we drew. Don't try to understand too much from it. This is just one of the ways to interpret AgileChakra. What do you see here? What do you see here? Different colors. in short. Nothing more. You don't see anything there. There is actually nothing. Those who have a chakra with you, you can map it up. Okay, where are we red here? We are red in culture and leadership. Long way off. Where are we green? Yeah. Yeah, and where are we? Somewhere close. We are almost there. I still don't understand the meaning of almost there. Yeah, so I chose just blue color because when I was trying to draw it, I had no other color. So please pardon me not using amber. Okay, so it's not about, it's giving a message, and I just saying, blue here means somewhere close, but we still have something. So this is how you interpret. Now what will you do? Tell me, friends. You spend a couple of days, maybe starting of the Agile journey or during the Agile transformation journey. Now what do you do with this? What do you do? Somebody? Sorry? Long way off. So that's a good mindset to have. Let's start with areas where it's long way off. So you will start with culture, leadership, hire new people, all leaders, all CXOs gone. Is it what it does? It what it mean? No, we don't know what it really means. It could be actually letting. Okay, tell me. Okay, anyone 100+ organization or team, have you done Agile transformation? Anyone here being part of it? Yes? How many got fired? Oh, come on. How long you have been there? 30? 12 years. Now this is something really interesting and it might hurt you. I was talking to a few of the thought leaders in Agile India and I was saying, what is one common thing that you have seen in all your successful transformations? He said, one common thing, sure, yeah, firing a few people. And I was like, what are you saying? Well, yes. I have seen this. If you see nothing other but you have to let go some people of transformation. And he made a statement. He said that is what I have seen, because that is many a times a way to give message. If we want to improve the fitness of Indian cricket team, which we are currently probably one of the fittest teams, those who follow cricket, how it happened? Did it happen overnight? I still remember Kumble diving. Yeah, from that day you see Ravindra Jadeja standing there. In 2 matches they can save 50 runs. What has changed? What happened to bring that cultural change where everyone is about fitness? Anyone? No, they brought in certain practices, and if these people did not pass a particular test, no place in the team. Some of our best players were fired. Yuvraj Singh, Rohit Sharma, Raidu. Just giving some example, those who can connect with crickets, because so it's as good as firing. No, sorry, you don't have any place in the team. We want fit people. What happened? Those people had the growth mindset, they came back. It's not about really letting go people. Those people had the growth mindset. What they said? They took this rejection as a motivation and came back. So this is something really interesting conversation I want to say. And I say, yeah, possibly not actually literally meaning firing, but say you are a hardcore portfolio manager, and this role does not have a future. We have to relook at what your role is. That is what I mean. People have to change their roles and stuff like that. Okay, some examples, and I'll adjust based on the time remaining. Let's look at some cases. I did an assessment, khoon se bhara, all red. So what do you read? What kind of company it is? Non-agile. What is a non-agile company? So now with agile being a buzzword, there are two types of people. Agile and non-agile. Baki matlab. So non-agile, we don't know. I mean, still industry has to mature. But then the idea here was this. So I have written some notes here. So companies which are basically starting their agile transformation, and when they did the assessment, then they realized, wow, we are not even started. Is it clear? So all these, I mean, whatever, culture, I use different colors of shades of red. In fact, there is some pink also, just to ensure the picture looks as all the layers are in different color. So does it make sense now? Now what to do next? What to do next with this company? If I am an external coach, sorry, I start my retirement planning. Boy, they will keep me for 3 years at least. Koi tension nahi hai abhi. No? Or we move on? Or what do you feel as a coach? Start. Yeah, maybe one thing to start with. That's what I always say, just enough is a very powerful term for me. How much planning you need to do for XYZ things? My answer is always just enough. Just enough to to start. That's all. You don't need too much of planning, just enough to start. Anirudh Kulkarni, is he here in the room? Oh, you are here, yeah. Why did you register for PAUC when we did not even announce the theme, man? Was it the discount? Then?
Actually, when I attended last time the PAUC 2018 and then after attending other conferences as well, I feel the level of PAUC which has been there, and then with the expectation of the fun and learning. So whenever it got announced, without any agenda, without any UnConference,
So there are always some great people here who have believed in us. We just had a date. Did we have a venue at that time when we announced? No, we did not even have a venue. We did not have any idea what theme will be. But we still said, hey, 4 August ko kya hai? 4th August is PAUC19, and we see people who have the agile mindset saying, say, things will evolve. It's okay. I mean, it cannot be a perfect. I cannot have a list of speakers 6 months in advance. What if we get a great speaker today in one of the ad hoc talk proposals? There is a section for ad hoc talk proposals. If we get a great opportunity in a great topic coming up, what do we do? Sorry, bhaiya, you are not in schedule, nikal lo. No? What does our agile mindset say here? Respond, see if there is still an opportunity to include anyone, and that's it. And if it is not there, what do we do? Sorry, next time. But maintain transparency. This is how you connect the value system, okay? So just start somewhere, okay? If you had to make a choice, all red, one layer you want to start, which layer will you choose? Mindset culture. Very difficult, my dear friends. Culture, in fact, I believe that you must never start with saying, now with agile transformation, the culture will change here. You know, half of the people will go. This is the last thing. In fact, this should be the least. You must do things where culture will naturally change. Build the right habits. Leaders, yeah. So again, different type of companies, that's what we are going to. If it is a startup, which layer will you focus on? A startup which is bleeding. Where is the first thing you want to do? No business, no customer, hardly money to pay salary. At least fix one problem of the people. So focus on the product and services layer where we can be differentiator. Let's start there. Is it making some sense? So culture is the core which is there. You don't transform the culture. And that is also one of the reasons I say, out of many reasons for agile transformation failure, is start away, focus on culture. And I believe that no, it will happen. Eventually it will happen, but don't start there. Moving on, one more case. Timer please. Where is it? What is the time? Can I spot 5 more minutes? Okay. So we are almost there. What is this? All green, 3 layers, green. So culture green, technical green, product services green, mindset is pretty much there, sometimes not there. But leadership and governance, when I say governance is red, what does it mean, by the way? Their governance is not agile. What does it mean? Heavy processes. For getting a marker pen, it needs 3 level of approval. And you have 25 different ways of status reporting, which never gets read. Those kind of things, you know, sometimes we get suffocated. Let's face it, the sooner we start saying this. So as a project manager, I was paid for maintaining and controlling projects. And one of the key things about that was Friday. What do you do on Fridays? Weekly status. And you know what, I used to be ashamed. My company is paying for the thing I hate the most. I used to feel like that, yeah, I don't like doing this status reporting. We are working and I mean, just sharing my point of view here. So companies which are heavy on these processes and governance and audit process, I'm not saying none of this is important. Please don't hear me selectively. All these are important. The very reason process and governance is there means they are a critical component. But you must have a lightweight, lean or lightweight way of looking at it. So here, this is kind of a government run organization wherein you have a monopoly. 10 years, 20 years back maybe, when I was, I'm from Northeast India, I'm from Nagaland, and my brother once called me, hey, tere paas LIC hai kya? Insurance hai kya? So I said, no, I don't have an insurance, I was still a student, okay. And next day he comes, I have bought an LIC for you. I said, what, you bought an LIC? You bought LIC? Life Insurance Corporation. So that is the idea of those companies, they don't care about processes because they have a huge market base available, right? Yes or no? They don't have to worry about any processes because users have no other option but to go to them. So this could be one of the examples. Okay, this one, what do you say? Is the company in good shape? Can it survive in the current organization? Why? What's wrong with this? And you know what is written here? It's a successful startup. It's a successful startup which have got a good business model. They're not trying for scalability and all, but they are good startup. Why? Because they have at least one great offering. This is how you interpret Agile Chakra. It's not about how much of it is red or blue. So for this, good enough to have, good enough to move on. But will they try? When they try scaling, then the process will come into place and all these things come into play. So I'll give couple more examples and then take questions further. Okay, what about this? This is in good shape, yes? I did this with a failed startup, yeah? So failed startup, totally zero. They had everything in place, but they did not have a great idea. I will skip this, 3 points to summarize because I have already there in the end. So Agile transformation is a holistic change. It doesn't happen in departments or close. You just can't transform IT of a company into Agile and there. Is it fine? So it's always a holistic change. It's not about frameworks or practices. It's about mindset and culture at the end. So that's our destiny. If you are somehow able to bring the culture and mindset change, but then does it mean other layers are not important? Remember this, absolutely not. Equally important are technical layer, process, governance. But ultimately when I say this company is Agile, my heart clearly says that they have an Agile mindset. The people have the Agile mindset and the culture is very much like an Agile company should be. It's not about Agile, it's about agility, which is the core capabilities you build. You already have about 30 capabilities, more than that. Okay, is a journey, not a goal, which we discussed in the start. And Agile transformations take time, my dear friends. Can you guarantee 100 people organization how much time it is going to take? No. So promises of 1 week I have all the templates, ab main aa gaya hu, sabko badal dunga. Nahi, nothing like that. Don't be a superhero as transformational coaches. Okay, it will take time. So you have to be patient. Recent article, a snippet. So we have just signed a 2-year Agile transformation deal with a Agile consultant. I hear this quite often. 2-year Agile transformation deal is signed and there is a commitment, success guarantee that transformation will happen. I just don't know how it is happening. If the guy was so sure that in 2 years the person will transform, why not in 6 months? Why do you have to wait for 2 years? Is it making sense? Because there is a lot of lack of surety here. So that's it. I would want to take, if you allow a couple of questions, I like to take. I would leave it to the timers and the facilitators here, if you have time.
Yeah, maybe another 5 minutes for the question. And anyone else have a question, we can move on to the discussion bar, but 5 minutes of the question.
So, Vineet, I mean, you as a transformational coach, suppose there is an offer which is coming, you are discussing your next coaching assignment with some company, and as you said that you cannot put a time frame over there, but if they are saying that, okay, we want to achieve this in 6 months or 9 months or something, how do you deal with them, or how do you educate them, or you just pull back, or?
So I will answer you with a question. Yeah. So if I have to lose 15 kgs in the next 6 months, what do we do during the 6 months? And then how do we know whether it is going in the right track? Keep inspecting, adapting. That is the simple thing. We don't know. So
How do you handle those kind of requests? I mean, so that is what on the ground you will do. But how do you educate them, or how do you respond them? Why their demand is not a proper demand?
see, sometimes as genuine coaches, ethical coaches, pure at heart coaches, if the customer is clearly asking you to do some magic, I feel it's totally wrong to make a commitment. No gym instructor can guarantee me that my knee will be fixed in 10 days or 2 months, because I have to collaborate with the gym instructor to change the lifestyle and all, and it's always a collaborative effort. There is never a guarantee. So if I am struggling to pay my EMIs, you know what my answer will be? EMI bharna hai, 3 loans, 6 months I will change, guarantee, because at least 5.5 months EMIs will be taken care of. Then, so just to answer on a lighter note, we don't know. So I think that's it.